My videos don't necessarily promote one religion. My views and opinions aren't meant to change the minds, opinions, or beliefs of others. Watch with an open mind. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, entertainment, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. We continue to uncover the profound wisdom within the timeless scriptures. Take care, and God bless.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where I cover all things politics. In this video, we're going to take a look at the founding document of one of our two dominant political parties here in the United States, the Democratic Party. And that document is called the Charter of the Democratic Party of the United States. This is not the platform. This is not planks 1 through 25. This is what the Democratic Party is, its basic organizational structure. So let's go ahead and get into it. I want to start off with the preamble because it gives us some context about why this charter was written and how it came to be. It says, recognizing our common heritage of ideals and our shared commitment to the principles of the great democratic philosophers, the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution, the representatives of the Democratic Party of the United States do hereby set forth this charter to govern our party. In other words, they're saying we share a common heritage of ideals with the Founding Fathers. We are committed to the principles outlined in the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Therefore, we write this charter to govern our party. The first article talks about the name of the party. It's going to be called the Democratic Party of the United States. Article 2 talks about the purpose of the party, and it's pretty simple. The purpose of the party is to win elections so that Democrats can be in power. And the reason for being in power is to promote the general welfare of the American people by giving everyone the opportunity to achieve their dreams and build a better life. Yeah. Sounds good. Article 3 talks about the sovereignty of the party. The ultimate authority in the Democratic Party resides with the people. This means that the voters have the final say in all matters relating to the party. The sovereignty of the people is the foundation of the Democratic Party. I really like this. This is very much in line with Athenian democracy. The sovereignty of the people is the foundation of our party. Article 4 tells us how people join the party. Any person who believes in and supports the principles set forth in this charter and the party's platform may join the Democratic Party. So it's open to anyone who supports the principles of the party. Article 5 tells us about voting in the party. Every member of the Democratic Party in good standing shall be entitled to vote at any meeting of the party. So as long as you're in good standing, you're allowed to vote. I wonder what it means to be in bad standing. Maybe if you don't pay your dues, maybe if you do something that's antithetical to the party? I'm not sure. That's something that would be determined by the state and local parties. Article 6 talks about the party apparatus. The party apparatus consists of all elected and appointed party officers, all committees and all other agencies of the party. Now, the party apparatus exists to help the party carry out its activities and to assist the candidates and elected officials in carrying out their responsibilities. But the party apparatus is subordinate to the elected representatives of the people. So if there's ever a conflict between the party apparatus and the elected officials will win. This is meant to prevent the party from controlling those who are elected. It's also an effort to prevent corruption. Article 7 talks about who can serve in the party apparatus. No person holding any elective office under the Constitution or laws of the United States or of any state or territory shall be eligible to a nomination as the candidate of the Democratic Party for any office higher than the office which such person now holds, nor shall any person be eligible to a nomination as the candidate of the Democratic Party for President of the United States unless such person was at the time of the nominating convention a qualified elector of some state. So this is trying to prevent people who hold public office from taking bribes. If a senator wants to become president, he or she cannot accept a bribe to run for president. They must be qualified to be president, meaning they must be an elector at the time of the nominating convention. You can't just become an elector just prior to the nominating convention. You got to be an elector for a while before then. I think. This is primarily meant to prevent bribery and corruption within the party. I think it's a good thing. I think we should keep it. Article 8 tells us about national committees. The National Committee shall consist of 3 members from each state and the District of Columbia, and such additional members from each state and the District of Columbia as may be necessary to make the total number of members odd. The members of the National Committee shall be popularly elected in each state and district at the primary election or in such manner as the appropriate state or district party organization may provide. So this is the makeup of the National Committee. It's 3 per state plus whatever is necessary to make the total number odd. And these people are popularly elected, meaning the people vote for them. They aren't appointed by anyone. They're voted on by the people. At least that's what it seems to mean. Article 9 is about how often we vote for these people. The members of the National Committee from each state and district and the District of Columbia shall be elected for terms of 2 years each and shall take office at the expiration of the terms of their immediate predecessors. So every 2 years we vote for these people. Of course, if we change the rules, we might have staggered terms where every year we only elect, half of them or something like that. But as of right now, every 2 years we vote for these people. Article 10 tells us about vacancies. If a vacancy occurs on the National Committee, the appropriate state or district party organization shall fill the vacancy for the remainder of the unexpired term. Article 11 tells us about the role of the National Committee. The National Committee shall have general charge of the party's affairs between the sessions of the National Convention and shall have full power to make rules for the government of the party in the conduct of its business, except as otherwise provided in this charter. It shall elect such officers as it may deem necessary and shall prescribe their duties. It shall appoint such committees as it may deem necessary and define their powers and duties. It shall designate the time and place of the next succeeding National Convention, and shall prepare and publish the minutes of its own proceedings and those of the National Convention. So the National Committee runs the party between conventions. They elect officers, they appoint committees, they determine when and where the next convention is held, they publish the minutes of their proceedings and the proceedings of the National Convention. Pretty straightforward. Article 12 talks about the National Convention. The supreme power of the party is vested in the National Convention. The National Convention shall be composed of delegates from the states and the District of Columbia, who shall be entitled to 1 vote for each 1,000 population or fraction thereof of the party in the state or district, as shown by the last preceding decennial census. Each state and district shall make rules governing the selection of its delegates to the National Convention. But no rule shall be effective if adopted after the 1st day of January, preceding the year in which the convention is held. So this is the rule about how many electors we get based on our population. It's 1 for every 1,000 people, and states will determine how their electors are chosen, but they can't change the rules after January of the year before the presidential election year. Also, Article 12 tells us about when the National Convention is held. The National Convention shall be held at such time and place as the National Committee shall determine, or in default of such determination at the place, and at such time as the President of the United States shall designate. So the National Committee gets to determine when and where the National Convention is held. But if they fail to do so, then it'll be up to the President of the United States to designate the time and place. We're wrapping up this video, but don't worry, there's more to come. This is just the second part of our series on the founding documents of our country. If you haven't checked out the video on the United States Constitution yet, you really should. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.
Thank you all for watching this here video.